Cities of One Voice, a radio documentary drama for social development and inclusive governance. Special focus on the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Engineer Kehinde Ade, written and produced by Jide Junior Ogunbade. Epocality is the state of being momentous, important, significant. What transformation will be on your account long after your leadership demonstrations? Democracy's essence lies in its ability to listen, to hear the whisper of the marginalized. Power's true test lies in its ability to empower, to lift the voices of the silenced. Inclusive governance changes the approach and levels of readiness involved in confrontations, challenges of the status quo's rigid lines. Justice true measures lies in its ability to address the wounds of the past. The strength of diversity lies in its ability to foster new ideas and creative inventions. Inclusive governance requires a degree of commitment with empathetic understanding of the people's plight. Inclusive democracy celebrates the strength of diversity, the beauty of differences. Governance for the many, not the few, demands willingness of an administration to listen, to hear the voices of the people. Participatory democracy, a symphony of diverse voices, each playing unique responsibilities. Inclusive governance weaves a tapestry of diverse threads. It is unacceptable for the very few to continue oppressing the vast majority, making the people feel helpless and hopeless. No! In an unjust society, silence is a crime. We overcome destructive forces and the major threats to our global economic stability through diplomatic negotiations and cooperation. Destructive forces are embodied by counterintuitive potentials of circumstances that leads to domestic job losses, economic hardship, reduction of internal standards of living, and infinite hostility. Leadership isn't just about titles. Leadership is about building the people's confidence on self-reliance. What does it mean to have a successful diplomatic negotiation, which tends to mediate the global environments towards the attractive domestic environmental systems?
Having on so many occasions been welcomed to opening ceremonies around the Commonwealth, it is a pleasure this time to welcome you to my own home. Here at Buckingham Palace in 1949, my father met the heads of government when they ratified the London Declaration, which created the Commonwealth as we know it today, then comprising just 8 nations. Who then, or in 1952, when I became head of the Commonwealth, would have guessed that a gathering of its member states would one day number 53, or that it would comprise 2.4 billion people? Put simply, we are one of the world's great convening powers, a global association of volunteers who believe in the tangible benefits that flow from exchanging ideas and experiences and respecting each other's point of view. And we seem to be growing stronger year by year. The advantages are plain to see. An increasing emphasis on trade between our countries is helping us all to discover exciting new ways of doing business. And imaginative initiatives have shown how together we can bring about change on a global scale. The Commonwealth Canopy has emphasized our interdependence, while the Commonwealth Blue Charter promises to do the same in protecting our shared ocean resources. The Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Trust is providing life-changing eye treatment to many thousands through the generosity and cooperation of the nations represented here today. My family and I have been heartened by these and many other programs in which we are proud to play a part. I'm glad to see that young people, connecting through technology, are becoming ever more involved. When I meet the young leaders of this century, I remember my own lifelong commitment made in South Africa in 1947 at the age of 21. As another birthday approaches this week, I am reminded of the extraordinary journey we have been on and how much good has been achieved. It remains a great pleasure and honor to serve you as head of the Commonwealth and to observe with pride and satisfaction that this is a flourishing network. It is my sincere wish that the Commonwealth will continue to offer stability and continuity for future generations, and will decide that one day the Prince of Wales should carry on the important work started by my father in 1949. By continuing to treasure and reinvigorate our associations and activities, I believe we will secure a safer, more prosperous and sustainable world for those who follow us. A world where the Commonwealth's generosity of spirit can bring its gentle touch of healing and hope to all. Mindful, as always, that this summit of Commonwealth leaders draws its mandate and authority from our member countries collectively, it gives me great pleasure.
This is your victory. Now, I know you didn't do this just to win an election. I know you didn't do it for me. You did it because you understand the enormity of the task that lies ahead. But my main message is to the parents of Trayvon Martin. If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. They had their entire lives ahead of them. Birthdays, graduations, weddings, kids of their own. Among the fallen were also teachers, men and women who devoted their lives to helping our children fulfill their dreams. So our hearts are broken today. It's the idea held by generations of citizens who believe that America is a constant work in progress, who believe that loving this country requires more than singing its praises or avoiding uncomfortable truths. It requires the occasional disruption.
Fellow compatriots, we celebrate a day that has remained a watershed in our nation's history, not just today, but for every June 12th, for the endless future that our beloved country shall exist and work stronger and stronger. Generation of Nigerians will always remember themselves that the Commonwealth is a great success. It 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 democracy that is steadily growing to become the defining essence of our polity was not gifted to us on a silver platter. We can easily recall the sacrifice and the martyrdom of Chief MKO Abiola, the custodian of the sacred mandate that was so cruelly annulled. He sacrificed his life in unyielding patriotic defense of the ideals of democracy, as symbolized in his choice by his fellow countrymen and women as their duly elected president. There was an easier choice for him. It was to forgo the justice of his cause and opt for the path of ease and capitulation in the face of the tyranny of power. To his eternal credit and immortal glory, Abiola said no. He demonstrated the time-tested eternal truth that there are certain ideals and principles that are far more valuable than life itself. Every day on this day, down the ages, we will recall the several heroes of democracy, such as Kudirat Abiola, wife of Chief Abiola, who was brutally murdered while in the trenches fighting on the side of the people. We remember Pat Alfred Rwani, one of the heroes of our independence struggle, and Major General Shehu Musaya Adua, retired, who was silenced by the military junta while in pursuit of democracy. They gave their yesterday for the liberty that is ours today.
I think it's a time for us as a people to see and to understand that this process is not meant to be a process of violence. And so I want to reiterate again that this contest is about peace, is about progress, is about prosperity for our state and our country at large. And I want you all, gentlemen of the press, to continue to preach and to advocate for everyone to have the right to be able to express themselves freely.
Whatever is the issues or problem they are going with, I also need to face it. Because why am I the governor? I'm meant to solve your problem. I'm meant to be able to ease traffic for you. I'm meant to ensure and put up policies that will make your businesses do very well, not just by word of mouth, but because I realize and I appreciate that the private sector are the engines of growth. 85% of that GDP that is attributed to the GDP of Lagos is driven by the private sector. So I know where the numbers are. And I know it's only when I get it right, it's only when we fix all the potholes and all the bad roads that you will have access. Because when you move from one point to the other easily and freely, your businesses will do well. Just for the fact that you need to move your goods and services.
I'm pleased to take this opportunity to declare once again, therefore, that this administration attaches the greatest importance to constructive and helpful criticisms as well as the freedom of the press. And to declare further that the administration also attaches the greatest importance of fundamental human rights. A visible improvement in the standard of living of our people will not come overnight, of course. It is nonetheless feasible to take a meaningful action now which would alleviate the deprivation and misery of the large majority of our population within a short time. Thus, the administration will, in particular, take measures to check our galloping inflation and soaring unemployment. Part of these measures may require a review of our ongoing negotiations with the International Monetary Fund and our current debt servicing ratio. And I trust that we will be able to count on the goodwill of your countries and organizations on this issue.
What are your or political socio-economic contributions to global standings? Be a part of social transformation today. Cities of One Voice, a radio documentary drama for social development and inclusive governance. Special focus on the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Engineer Kehinde Ade. Written and produced by Jide Junior Ogunbade.